In the name of Allah, the most compassionate and the most merciful. There is a very beautiful article written by Lachlan Brown. That's a really great article. And this article says 10 signs you are actually more mature than you think you are. You are actually more mature than you think you are. 10 signs. Beautiful signs. Let's go through all of these. These are very interesting. And even if at all we have not yet developed any of these, we should try to develop all those points, all those signs, because maturity is the need of each and everyone else. So why to ignore it? Why to ignore it? Why to underestimate it? And why to neglect it? Let's start developing all of these 10 signs and be ourselves. First of all, Litchland Brown says you start adjusting to tough situations better. The tough situations does arise in the life of each and everyone else. Even the wealthier people, even the powerful people, the tough situations does arise in the life of each and everyone else. But the mature people, instead of moaning and groaning, instead of keep complaining and criticizing, instead of feeling depressed, they start adjusting. That's very nice, very important indeed. The first and the most important thing. The next is you have developed a healthier relationship with yourself. Developing the healthier relationship with ourselves. We have heard about, developing the healthier and the positive relationship with others, but we haven't heard about it, earlier. So we need to develop the healthier relationship with we ourselves as well, or maybe it is more important than any other relationship. The reason is, dear friends and fellows, that we are with ourselves 24/7. We are with ourselves 24/7. For that reason, we need to become, we need to develop more healthier relationship with we ourselves. That's very important. And that can be done by positive talk, positive self talk, the talk of the hope, the talk of the belief that I shall succeed and the world is going in a better direction. And all the people will become healthier, happier. And that is, number two. Number three, Lachlan Brown says, you keep an open mind and don't judge others. Keeping our mind open and not judging others at all. Because judging other means that, expressing the negative opinion about others just to show that I'm better than them. That's wrong. That's negativity. Avoid judging other people unless, it become essential in one reason or the other. We have no right to judge other people at all. We must keep our mind open. That's the number three. Number four, Lachlan Brown says you think carefully before you act. You think carefully before you act. It is important. Thinking carefully before we act. Otherwise, we do have to repent and regret. The poor and the bad results will appear, and that will be bad for us. So, for that reason, we need to think carefully before we act. Number four. Number five, he says, you verbalize your thoughts and emotions maturely. What is this? We have emotions and we have thoughts. We need to verbalize them. We need to we need to bring and convert into the words. And once we do succeed in converting it into the words, then we can judge whether, then we can understand whether it is the right or the wrong, and where the reform is needed, where we need to change and to reform ourselves. That's important. You verbalize your thoughts and emotions maturely. Number five. Number six, Lachlan Brown says you become self aware of your issues and take steps to address them. There are issues with each and everyone else. So we need to understand these issues with we ourselves, our own issues. We need to understand it, and we should start taking steps to resolve, to address them. Number seven, he says, you work hard for things you want. The things you want to, the results you want to create in your life, the things you want. We must start working hard, working smart for the achievement of all that. Otherwise, it will not be achieved just by wishing. It will not be achieved at all. And there will be no good thing at all. Number 8, he says you walk and talk. You walk and talk mean saying the important, the useful things in a casual manner, while talking, while discussing this, while discussing that, like what does happen in the dramas. You walk and talk. Number 9, he says you know about when to listen and when to speak. Very useful, very beautiful article, very beautiful point. Sign. You know when to listen and when to speak. That's really important. Developing this skill, understanding when to listen, when to speak. The last is you learn from your mistakes. A person who does not learn from one's own mistakes is a very poor guy actually, and will never be able to improve. Not to talk of succeeding, will not be able to improve. But the people who do learn from their mistakes, they keep improving with the passage of time, and they do succeed ultimately at the same time. So that is a very beautiful article, and let's make a quick revision of all those 10 points. The article is that of the Lachlan Brown, and the caption of the article is, 10 signs you are actually more mature than you think you are. First of all, Lachlan Brown says, you start adjusting to tough situations better. Important. You start adjusting to tough situations better. We need to start adjusting because the tough situations will arrive at several stages in our life. It happens with each and everyone else. No matter how genius somebody is, no matter how powerful, how wealthy somebody is, it will happen. The tough situations will arrive, and it will arrive in our life as well. It has arrived several times earlier, and it will arrive several times later in our life as well. So we need to start adjusting with these tough situations. Number one. Number two, instead of keep moaning and groaning, instead of keep criticizing, it's better to start adjusting. Number two, he says, you have developed a healthier relationship with yourself. Healthier relationship with yourself by positive thinking, obviously. Number three, he says, you take an open mind and don't judge others. No need to criticize others unless and until it becomes essential, and then too at a very very limited you know level or scale. So we don't need to judge others, we should need to keep our mind open. Number 4, he says you think carefully before you act. Before we do act, we need to think carefully. And the 5 is you verbalize your thoughts and emotions maturely. We need to verbalize our thoughts and our emotions, and so that we could understand whether these could be expressed in the presence of the people as well or not. So it could be communicated in this manner or not. So we need to reform. If at all there is a negativity in that, if there is sense of irresponsibility in that, if there is some sort of ignorance in that, so if there is any unhealthy emotion in that, so we need to reform it before we, because whatever we think and whatever we believe in, it will automatically be expressed in the presence of the people. Before that, I think point, we need to do it with we ourselves. Number 6, he says you become self aware of your issues and take steps to address them. Important. You work hard for the things you want. Yes. Work hard, work smart. You walk and talk, saying useful, important things in a casual manner. Develop this ability. You know about when to listen and when to speak. My favorite point. And the very important skill. You learn from your mistakes. That's very, very important. Thank you very much. Jazakumullah khair.